Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly achieve their goals while others perpetually struggle? Is it possible that the key to massive change lies not in grand, sweeping gestures, but in the accumulation of tiny, almost imperceptible habits? Can a mere 1% improvement each day truly revolutionize your life? What if the secret to lasting success isn't about willpower or motivation, but about crafting an environment that makes good habits inevitable? These questions lie at the heart of James Clear's Atomic Habits. Clear argues that focusing on small, manageable habits rather than monumental goals is the path to lasting transformation. This book is a guide to understanding how tiny changes can yield remarkable results, providing a framework for building good habits and breaking bad ones. Chapter 1: The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. Imagine you're trying to build a house. You wouldn't start by putting up the roof, right? You'd begin with the foundation, the small, basic things that support everything else. That's what James Clear calls atomic habits. These are the tiny, everyday things you do that, over time, build up to something big. The 1% rule: small changes, big results. Clear starts by telling us about the power of small improvements. He says that if you get just 1% better at something every day, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. That's because those tiny improvements add up, like interest in a bank account. Example: let's say you want to learn to play the guitar. If you practice for just 15 minutes every day, you might not see much progress in a week. But after a year, you'll be amazed at how much you've learned. Another example: if you want to save money, saving just $5 a day might not seem like much, but over a year, that's over $1,800. On the flip side, if you get 1% worse every day, you'll end up with almost nothing. Small bad habits can also add up, but in a negative way. Example: if you eat one unhealthy snack every day, it might not seem like a big deal, but over a year, those extra calories can lead to significant weight gain. Another example: if you put off studying for just a few minutes every day, it can lead to falling behind in your classes. Goals versus systems. Focusing on the process. Clear then talks about the difference between goals and systems. Goals are what you want to achieve, like lose 20 pounds or write a book. Systems are the processes you follow to achieve those goals, like exercise for 30 minutes every day, or write 500 words every day. He argues that focusing on systems is more important than focusing on goals. Why? Because goals are about the end result, while systems are about the journey. Example: imagine a basketball team. Their goal is to win the championship, but if they only focus on winning, they might get discouraged when they lose games. A better approach is to focus on their system, practicing daily, working on teamwork, and analyzing their opponents. Another example: someone wanting to write a book who only focuses on the goal of finishing the book might get overwhelmed by how much work is left to do. If they focus on a system of writing 500 words a day, they make progress every day and eventually finish the book. Identity-based habits: becoming the person you want to be. Clear also introduces the idea of identity-based habits. This means that your habits should reflect who you want to be. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on who you want to become. Example: instead of saying, "I want to run a marathon," say, "I am a runner." This changes how you think and act. A runner runs even when they don't feel like it. Another example: if you want to be a writer, don't just say, "I want to write a book." Say, "I am a writer." Then you'll start thinking and acting like a writer, You'll make time to write even if it's just for a few minutes each day. Why identity matters. When you focus on your identity, your habits become a way to reinforce who you are. This makes them more powerful and more likely to stick. Example: if you think of yourself as a healthy person, you'll make choices that reflect that identity. You'll eat healthy foods, exercise regularly, and prioritize sleep. Another example: if you think of yourself as a disciplined person, you'll stick to your habits, even when they're difficult. You'll show up and do the work, even when you don't feel like it. In summary, Chapter 1 of Atomic Habits teaches us that small habits can lead to big changes over time. Focusing on systems is more important than focusing on goals. Your habits should reflect who you want to be. Identity-based habits are the most powerful. By understanding these principles, you can start building atomic habits that will transform your life. Remember, it's not about the big, dramatic changes. It's about the small, consistent actions you take. Chapter 2: The Fundamentals. Why Tiny Changes Make a Big Difference. In Chapter 2, James Clear goes deeper into the basics of how habits work and why small changes can have a huge impact. He talks about the 3 layers of behavior change and the habit loop. The 3 layers of behavior change. Clear explains that there are 3 levels of change when it comes to habits. Changes in outcomes. This is about changing your results. For example, losing weight, winning a race, or getting a promotion. Changes in processes. This is about changing your habits and systems. For example, going to the gym 3 times a week, writing every day, or organizing your workspace. Changes in identity. This is about changing your beliefs and worldview. For example, becoming a runner, a writer, or a healthy person. Clear argues that the most effective way to change your habits is to focus on changing your identity. Example: someone trying to quit smoking might focus on the outcome, quitting, or the process, using nicotine patches. However, true change occurs when they identify as a non-smoker. They think, "I'm not the kind of person who smokes." Another example: if you want to be a better student, don't just focus on getting good grades. Focus on becoming the kind of person who studies hard and learns effectively. Why identity change is powerful. When you change your identity, your habits become a natural expression of who you are. It's not about forcing yourself to do something. It's about doing what comes naturally to someone with your identity. Example: a person who identifies as a healthy eater will naturally choose healthy foods. They don't have to force themselves. It's just who they are. Another example: a person who identifies as a disciplined writer will naturally make time to write even when they don't feel like it. They see it as part of their identity. The habit loop. Understanding how habits work. Clear also introduces the habit loop, which explains how habits are formed. The habit loop consists of 4 parts. Cue. This is the trigger that tells your brain to start a behavior. Craving. This is the motivational force behind a habit. It's what you want or desire. Response. This is the actual habit you perform. Reward. This is the satisfaction you get from doing the habit. Example: cue. You see your phone, trigger. Craving. You want to check social media, desire. Response. You pick up your phone and open the app, action. Reward. You feel entertained and connected, satisfaction. Another example, a cue. You feel tired after work, trigger. Craving. You want to relax and unwind, desire. Response. You turn on the TV and watch a show, action. Reward. You feel relaxed and entertained. Satisfaction. How to use the habit loop. Understanding the habit loop can help you build good habits and break bad ones. To build a good habit, make the cue obvious, make the craving attractive, make the response easy, make the reward satisfying. To break a bad habit, make the cue invisible, make the craving unattractive, make the response difficult, make the reward unsatisfying. First, key takeaways from Chapter 2. Focus on changing your identity to change your habits. The habit loop consists of cue, craving, response, and reward. Understanding the habit loop can help you build good habits and break bad ones. By focusing on identity change and understanding the habit loop, you can create lasting habits that transform your life. Chapter 3. The first law, make it obvious. In this chapter, James Clear introduces the first of his 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious. He emphasizes that to build good habits, you need to make the cues that trigger those habits clear and visible. The importance of cues. Clear explains that our brains are constantly scanning our environment for cues that tell us what to do. These cues can be anything from a time of day to a location to a feeling. If you want to build a habit, you need to make the cue for that habit obvious. Example: if you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle on your desk where you can see it. The sight of the water bottle will act as a cue to drink. Another example: if you want to read more, place a book on your pillow. The sight of the book before bed will remind you to read. Implementation intentions. Planning when and where. One of the most effective ways to make cues obvious is to use implementation intentions. This involves creating a specific plan for when and where you will perform a habit. The formula is: I will behavior at time in location. Example: instead of saying, I want to exercise more, say, I will go for a 30-minute walk at 6 p.m. in the park near my house. Another example: instead of saying, I want to write more, say, I will write for 20 minutes at 8 a.m. in my office. By specifying when and where you will perform a habit, you reduce the ambiguity and increase the likelihood that you will actually do it. Habit stacking. Connecting habits. Another powerful technique is habit stacking. This involves connecting a new habit to an existing habit. The formula is: after I current habit, I will new habit. Example: if you want to floss your teeth, connect it to brushing your teeth. After I brush my teeth, I will floss my teeth. Another example: if you want to do more push-ups, connect it to making your morning coffee. After I make my morning coffee, I will do 10 push-ups. Habit stacking takes advantage of existing habits to build new ones. Because you already have a routine, adding a new habit to it makes the new habit easier to remember and do. Designing your environment. Your environment plays a significant role in shaping your habits. Clear emphasizes the importance of designing your environment to make good habits obvious and bad habits invisible. Example: if you want to eat healthier, remove unhealthy snacks from your kitchen and replace them with healthy options. Another example: if you want to focus more on work, turn off notifications on your phone and keep it out of sight. By changing your environment, you can make it easier to perform good habits and harder to perform bad habits. Making cues specific. Clear also highlights the importance of making cues specific. The more specific the cue, the more likely you are to act on it. Example: instead of saying, I want to read more books, so like say, I will read 1 chapter of a book every night before bed. Another example: instead of saying, I want to exercise more, say, I will go for a run every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. By being specific, you eliminate any ambiguity and make it clear what you need to do. Key takeaways from Chapter 3. Make the cues for your desired habits obvious. Use implementation intentions to plan when and where you will perform your habits. Use habit stacking to connect new habits to existing habits. Design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Make your cues very specific. By applying these principles, you can make your desired habits more obvious and increase the likelihood that you will stick to them. Chapter 4, the second law, make it attractive. In this chapter, James Clear introduces the second of his 4 laws of behavior change. Make it attractive. He emphasizes that to build good habits, you need to make them appealing and something you look forward to. The power of cravings. Clear explains that habits are driven by cravings. We don't crave the habit itself, but the change it brings. The more attractive a habit is, the stronger our craving will be, and the more likely we are to do it. Example, we don't crave brushing our teeth. We crave the feeling of a clean mouth. Another example, we don't crave going to the gym. We crave the feeling of being stronger and healthier. Temptation bundling. Pairing wants and needs. One effective way to make habits more attractive is through temptation bundling. This involves pairing a habit you need to do with a habit you want to do. Example: after I check my email, need, I will listen to my favorite podcast, want. Another example: after I finish a work task, need, I will take a 5-minute break to browse social media, want. By linking a less appealing habit with a more appealing one, you make the less appealing habit more attractive. You get to do something you enjoy, but only after you've done something you need to do. The influence of culture. Clear also discusses how our culture influences our cravings. We tend to adopt the habits that are common and praised in our social groups. Example: if you're surrounded by people who value fitness, you're more likely to develop healthy exercise habits. Another example: if you're surrounded by people who are constantly learning, you're more likely to develop a habit of reading or taking courses. Finding your tribe. To make habits more attractive, it can be helpful to join a group or community where your desired behavior is the norm. Example: if you want to become a better runner, join a running club. Another example: if you want to become a better cook, take a cooking class or join a food-related group. Being surrounded by people who already have the habits you want to develop makes those habits seem more attractive and achievable. Rewiring your brain. Clear suggests that we can actually rewire our brains to associate pleasure with good habits. By making a habit enjoyable, we increase the likelihood that we'll stick with it. Example: listen to your favorite music while you exercise. Another example: reward yourself with a small treat after you complete a work task. Key takeaways from Chapter 4. Make your desired habits attractive by linking them to things you enjoy. Use temptation bundling to pair a need habit with a want habit. Be mindful of the influence of your culture and social groups. Join a tribe where your desired behavior is the norm. Find ways to make your good habits enjoyable. By applying these principles, you can make your desired habits more appealing and increase the likelihood that you will stick to them. Chapter 5. The third law, make it easy. In this chapter, James Clear introduces the third of his 4 laws of behavior change. Make it easy. He emphasizes that to build good habits, you need to reduce the friction associated with those habits, making them as simple and effortless as possible. Reducing friction. Clear explains that friction is the effort required to perform a behavior. The higher the friction, the less likely you are to do it. Conversely, the lower the friction, the more likely you are to stick to your habits. As high example, if you want to exercise more but your gym is far away and you have to pack a bag, the friction is high. If you keep workout clothes visible and exercise at home, the friction is low. Another example, if you want to eat healthier but you have to drive to a specialty store for ingredients, the friction is high. If you keep healthy snacks readily available at home, the friction is low. The 2-minute rule. One of the most effective ways to reduce friction is to use the 2-minute rule. This involves scaling down your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes or less. Example, instead of trying to read more, start by reading 1 page. Another example, instead of trying to exercise more, start by doing 2 minutes of stretching. The idea is that once you start, it's easier to continue. The 2-minute rule makes it easy to begin, even when you don't feel motivated. Making it the default. Clear also emphasizes the importance of making good habits the default option. This means designing your environment and routines so that the easiest choice is the good habit. Example, if you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle on your desk and refill it regularly. This makes drinking water the default choice. Another example, if you want to eat healthier, prepare healthy meals in advance and keep them readily available. This makes healthy eating the default choice. Automating habits. Another way to make habits easier is to automate them. This involves using technology or systems to make good habits happen automatically. Example, set up automatic transfers to your savings account. This makes saving money effortless. Another example, use a meal delivery service that provides healthy meals. This automates healthy eating. Designing your environment. Your environment plays a crucial role in making habits easy. Clear encourages readers to design their environments to support their desired habits. Example, if you want to sleep better, make your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Another example, if you want to focus more on work, remove distractions from your workspace. The importance of preparation. Preparing for your habits in advance can significantly reduce friction. Example, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Another example, prepare your lunch the night before. By preparing in advance, you eliminate the need to make decisions in the moment, making it easier to stick to your habits. Key takeaways from Chapter 5. Reduce the friction associated with your desired habits. Use the 2-minute rule to make it easy to start. Make good habits the default option. Automate your habits whenever possible. Design your environment to support your desired habits. Prepare in advance to make the actions easier. By applying these principles, you can make your desired habits easier to perform and increase the likelihood that you will stick to them. Chapter 6. The 4th law, make it satisfying. In this chapter, James Clear introduces the 4th and final law of behavior change. Make it satisfying. He emphasizes that to build good habits, you need to experience a sense of immediate reward or satisfaction after performing them. The importance of immediate rewards. Clear explains that our brains are wired to seek out immediate rewards. We are more likely to repeat behaviors that provide instant gratification. This is why it's crucial to make good habits satisfying. Example, eating a sugary snack provides an immediate burst of pleasure, which is why it's easy to develop a bad habit of snacking. Another example, checking social media provides instant feedback and entertainment, which is why it's easy to get hooked. Habit tracking, measuring progress. One effective way to make habits satisfying is through habit tracking. This involves measuring and recording your progress, which provides visual evidence of your accomplishments. Example, using a habit tracker app to mark off completed tasks or workouts. Another example, keeping a journal to track your daily word count or exercise routine. Habit tracking provides a sense of accomplishment and motivates you to continue your habits. Never miss twice. Clear introduces the never miss twice rule. This means that if you miss a habit once, make sure you get back on track immediately. Example, if you skip your workout one day, make sure you don't skip it the next day. Another example, if you eat an unhealthy meal, make sure your next meal is healthy. The never miss twice rule helps you avoid a downward spiral of bad habits. The power of visual progress. Seeing your progress visually can be highly motivating. Example, a weight loss chart that shows your progress over time. Another example, a savings account balance that shows your growing savings. Visual progress provides a sense of accomplishment and encourages you to keep going, making it enjoyable. Another crucial aspect of making habits satisfying is to find ways to make them enjoyable. Example, listening to your favorite music while you exercise. Another example, rewarding yourself with a small treat after completing a task. By making your habits enjoyable, you increase the likelihood that you'll stick to them. The importance of positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement involves rewarding yourself for performing good habits. Example, giving yourself a pat on the back or celebrating small wins. Another example, treating yourself to something you enjoy after achieving a goal. Positive reinforcement strengthens the association between the habit and the reward, making it more likely that you'll repeat the habit. Key takeaways from Chapter 6. Make your desired habits immediately satisfying. Use habit tracking to measure and visualize your progress. Follow the never miss twice rule to stay on track. Find ways to make your habits enjoyable. Use positive reinforcement to reward yourself for good habits. By applying these principles, you can make your desired habits more satisfying and increase the likelihood that you will stick to them. Chapter 7. Advanced Tactics. How to go from being merely good to being truly great. In this chapter, James Clear shifts the focus from building basic habits to refining them for peak performance. He explores advanced strategies for those who want to move beyond just establishing good habits and strive for excellence. The Goldilocks rule, staying in the zone. Clear introduces the Goldilocks rule, which states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy. Example, a weightlifter who consistently lifts weights that are too easy will not see progress and will lose motivation. Conversely, lifting weights that are too heavy will lead to frustration and injury. The optimal weight is one that is challenging but achievable. Another example, a musician practicing a piece that is too simple will become bored, while a piece that is too complex will lead to discouragement. The ideal piece is one that requires effort but is within reach. This rule emphasizes the importance of finding the just right level of challenge to maintain motivation and drive progress. The importance of deliberate practice. To move from good to great, Clear emphasizes the importance of deliberate practice. This involves focusing on specific areas for improvement, seeking feedback, and constantly refining your skills. Example, a basketball player practicing free throws might focus on their shooting form, analyze the results, and make adjustments based on feedback from a coach. Another example, a writer might focus on improving their dialogue by studying the works of successful authors and seeking feedback from other writers. Deliberate practice is about intentional, focused effort, not just mindless repetition. The role of feedback and reflection. Clear highlights the importance of feedback and reflection in achieving excellence. Regularly reviewing your progress and seeking constructive criticism can help you identify areas for improvement and refine your approach. Example, a business owner might regularly analyze their sales data, seek feedback from customers, and adjust their strategies accordingly. Another example, a student might review their test results, seek feedback from their teacher, and adjust their study habits. Reflection allows you to learn from your experiences and make adjustments for future success. The downside of success. Clear also acknowledges the potential downsides of success. He warns against becoming complacent or arrogant, which can hinder further progress. Example, a successful athlete might become complacent and stop training as hard, leading to a decline in performance. Another example, a successful business owner might become arrogant and ignore feedback from their team, leading to poor decisions. Staying humble and maintaining a growth mindset is essential for continued improvement. The power of systems over goals. Revisited. Even at advanced levels, Clear reiterates the importance of systems over goals. While goals provide direction, systems are the processes that drive consistent improvement. Example, a professional athlete might have the goal of winning a championship, but their system, daily training, nutrition, and mental preparation is what ultimately determines their success. Another example, a successful entrepreneur might have the goal of building a billion-dollar company, but their system, innovative product development, effective marketing, and strong team leadership is what makes it possible. Key takeaways from Chapter 7. Strive for the Goldilocks zone by working on tasks that are challenging but achievable. Engage in deliberate practice to refine your skills and focus on specific areas for improvement. Seek feedback and reflect on your progress to identify areas for growth. Avoid complacency and arrogance and maintain a growth mindset. Continue to prioritize systems over goals, even at advanced levels. By applying these advanced tactics, you can move beyond building basic habits and strive for excellence in your chosen pursuits. Chapter 8. The Secret to Self-Control. In this chapter, James Clear challenges the common belief that self-control is a fixed trait. Instead, he argues that self-control is a skill that can be developed and managed through strategic environmental design. The misconception of willpower. Clear begins by addressing the misconception that people with strong willpower are simply more disciplined. He argues that willpower is not a limitless resource and that relying solely on it is unsustainable. Example, imagine someone trying to resist unhealthy snacks while surrounded by them. Eventually, their willpower will likely weaken and they will give in. Another example, someone trying to focus on work while constantly bombarded with distractions will find it difficult to maintain concentration regardless of their willpower. Environmental design. Making self-control unnecessary. Clear emphasizes that the key to self-control is to design your environment in a way that makes good habits easy and bad habits difficult. Example, if you want to eat healthier, remove unhealthy snacks from your home and replace them with healthy options. This makes healthy eating the default choice, reducing the need for willpower. Another example, if you want to focus on work, create a distraction-free workspace by turning off notifications and removing unnecessary items from your desk. The power of inversion. Clear introduces the concept of inversion, which involves thinking about how to avoid bad habits rather than just focusing on building good ones. Example, instead of just trying to eat healthier, think about how to avoid unhealthy eating. This might involve avoiding fast food restaurants or removing unhealthy snacks from your home. Another example, instead of just trying to be more productive, think about how to avoid distractions. This might involve turning off notifications or working in a quiet environment. The importance of pre-commitment. Clear also discusses the importance of pre-commitment, which involves making choices in advance that make it harder to deviate from good habits. Example, packing your gym bag the night before makes it more likely that you will go to the gym the next day. Another example, setting up automatic transfers to your savings account makes it harder to spend that money. The role of habit, stacking and implementation intentions. Clear reminds readers of the importance of habit stacking and implementation intentions, which can help automate good habits and reduce the need for self-control. Example, after I brush my teeth, I will floss my teeth. This habit stack makes flossing a natural part of your routine. Another example, I will go for a run at 7 a.m. in the park near my house. This implementation intention makes it clear when and where you will exercise. Key takeaways from Chapter 8. Self-control is a skill that can be developed, not a fixed trait. Design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits difficult. Use inversion to think about how to avoid bad habits. Employ pre-commitment strategies to make it harder to deviate from good habits. Utilize habit stacking and implementation intentions to automate good habits. By applying these principles, you can reduce your reliance on willpower and make good habits an effortless part of your daily life. Chapter 9. The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. In this chapter, James Clear explores the profound influence of our social environment on our habits. He emphasizes that our family, friends, and community play a critical role in shaping our behaviors. The power of social influence. Clear explains that we are deeply influenced by the people around us. We tend to adopt the habits of those we spend time with, whether consciously or unconsciously. Example, if you spend time with people who prioritize fitness, you are more likely to adopt healthy exercise habits. Another example, if you spend time with people who are constantly learning and growing, you are more likely to develop a habit of reading or taking courses. The 3 groups that influence behavior. Clear identifies 3 key groups that influence our behavior. The close. Our family and close friends have the most significant impact on our daily habits. The many. Our larger social circle, including colleagues and acquaintances, also influences our behaviors. The powerful. Those with status and authority, such as mentors and role models, can shape our habits through their influence. Imitating the habits of the close. Clear emphasizes that we often imitate the habits of those closest to us. This can be both positive and negative. Example, if your partner has a habit of eating healthy meals, you are more likely to adopt that habit. Another example, if your friends have a habit of procrastinating, you are more likely to adopt that habit as well. The importance of choosing your tribe. Clear stresses the importance of choosing your social environment wisely. Surrounding yourself with people who have the habits you want to adopt can make it easier to achieve your goals. Example, if you want to become a better writer, join a writers group. Another example, if you want to become a better investor, join an investment club. The dangers of social pressure. Clear also acknowledges the dangers of negative social pressure. We may adopt bad habits to fit in or avoid being ostracized. Example, teenagers may start smoking or drinking to fit in with their peers. Another example, people may engage in unhealthy behaviors to conform to social norms. How to leverage social influence. Clear offers strategies for leveraging social influence to build good habits. Join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. Find an accountability partner. Having someone to hold you accountable can increase your motivation. Create a competition. Healthy competition can motivate you to stick to your habits. Key takeaways from Chapter 9. Our social environment has a profound influence on our habits. We tend to imitate the habits of those closest to us. Choosing your social environment wisely is essential for building good habits. Be aware of the dangers of negative social pressure. Leverage social influence by joining supportive communities and finding accountability partners. By understanding the power of social influence, we can create an environment that supports our desired habits and helps us achieve our goals. Chapter 10. How to find and fix your bad habits. In this chapter, James Clear provides practical strategies for identifying and breaking bad habits. He emphasizes that awareness is the first step towards change. The power of awareness. Clear stresses the importance of becoming aware of your bad habits. Many bad habits are automatic and unconscious, making them difficult to change. Example, mindlessly scrolling through social media without realizing how much time has passed. Another example, eating unhealthy snacks without paying attention to the quantity. The habit scorecard. Clear introduces the habit scorecard technique, which involves creating a list of your daily habits and evaluating them as good, bad, or neutral. Example: good, exercise for 30 minutes. Bad, check social media every 15 minutes. Neutral, brush teeth. By making your habits visible, you can identify the bad ones that need to be changed. The implementation intention of avoidance. Clear reminds us of the power of implementation intentions and expands on how to use them to avoid bad habits. Example, instead of just trying to avoid snacking, say, if I feel the urge to snack, I will drink a glass of water. Another example, instead of saying, I want to stop scrolling on my phone, say, if I feel the urge to scroll on my phone, I will leave my phone in another room. Reducing exposure. Clear emphasizes the importance of reducing your exposure to the cues that trigger your bad habits. Example, if you have a habit of eating unhealthy snacks while watching TV, remove the snacks from your living room. Another example, if you have a habit of checking your phone while working, turn off notifications and keep your phone out of sight. Inverting the laws. Clear explains how to invert the 4 laws of behavior change to break bad habits. Make it invisible. Reduce exposure to the cues that trigger your bad habits. Make it unattractive. Reframe your thinking to make the bad habit seem unappealing. Make it difficult. Increase the friction associated with the bad habit. Make it unsatisfying. Find ways to make the bad habit less rewarding. Example, if you want to break the habit of checking social media, make the app invisible by deleting it. Make it unattractive by reminding yourself of the time wasted. Make it difficult by logging out every time. And make it unsatisfying by tracking the time you waste. Replacing bad habits with good habits. Clear also highlights the importance of replacing bad habits with good habits. Simply trying to eliminate a bad habit without replacing it can lead to a vacuum that is filled by another bad habit. Example, instead of just trying to stop snacking, replace it with a habit of eating healthy snacks. Another example, instead of just trying to stop watching TV, replace it with a habit of reading. Key takeaways from Chapter 10. Become aware of your bad habits through techniques like the habit scorecard. Use implementation intentions to avoid bad habits. Reduce your exposure to the cues that trigger your bad habits. Invert the 4 laws of behavior change to break bad habits. Replace bad habits with good habits to fill the void. By applying these strategies, you can effectively identify and break your bad habits, paving the way for positive change. Chapter 11: The Slowest Way to Grow. In this chapter, James Clear addresses the often overlooked aspect of patience and the long-term perspective required for sustainable habit development. He emphasizes that focusing on immediate results can be detrimental to lasting change. The Valley of Disappointment. Clear introduces the concept of the Valley of Disappointment, which refers to the period between starting a new habit and seeing noticeable results. Many people give up during this phase because they don't see immediate progress. Example: someone starting a new exercise routine might not see significant changes in their physique or fitness level for several weeks or months. Another example: someone starting a new writing habit might not see immediate improvements in their writing quality or output. The power of patience. Clear stresses the importance of patience and understanding that habits take time to develop. He argues that focusing on the long-term benefits of good habits is crucial for staying motivated. Example: a person who consistently saves a small amount of money each month will eventually accumulate a significant amount over time. Another example: a person who consistently practices a musical instrument will eventually become proficient. Avoiding the trap of immediate gratification. Clear warns against the trap of seeking immediate gratification, which can lead to abandoning good habits. He encourages readers to focus on the process rather than the outcome. Example: someone who focuses solely on losing weight quickly might resort to unhealthy diets or exercise routines, which are unsustainable in the long run. Another example: someone who focuses solely on making money quickly might engage in risky investments or unethical practices. The importance of consistency. Clear emphasizes that consistency is more important than intensity. Small, consistent improvements over time will yield far greater results than sporadic bursts of effort. Example: studying for 30 minutes every day is more effective than cramming for several hours the night before an exam. Another example: writing 500 words every day is more effective than writing thousands of words sporadically. The role of compounding. Clear reminds us of the power of compounding, which applies not only to financial investments but also to habits. Small, consistent improvements compound over time, leading to significant results. Example: a 1% improvement in productivity each day can lead to a 37% improvement over a year. Another example: a 1% improvement in fitness each day can lead to a significant transformation in physical health over time. Key takeaways from Chapter 11. Understand the valley of disappointment and be patient during the initial stages of habit development. Focus on the long-term benefits of good habits rather than seeking immediate results. Avoid the trap of immediate gratification and prioritize the process over the outcome. Emphasize consistency over intensity. Remember the power of compounding and how small, consistent improvements can lead to significant results over time. By embracing patience and adopting a long-term perspective, you can build sustainable habits that lead to lasting change. Chapter 12. The Law of Least Effort. In this chapter, James Clear delves deeper into the third law of behavior change: make it easy, by emphasizing the importance of minimizing friction and maximizing convenience. He argues that humans are naturally inclined to choose the path of least resistance. The principle of least effort. Clear explains that our brains are wired to conserve energy, so we naturally gravitate towards behaviors that require the least amount of effort. This principle applies to all aspects of life, including habit formation. Example: if you want to drink more water, keeping a water bottle within reach is easier than having to get up and walk to the kitchen every time. Another example, if you want to read more, keeping a book on your nightstand is easier than having to search for one. Reduce friction. Clear emphasizes the importance of reducing friction, which refers to the effort required to perform a behavior. The less friction, the more likely you are to do it. Example, if you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. This eliminates the friction of having to search for them in the morning. Another example, if you want to eat healthier, prepare healthy meals in advance and keep them readily available. Increase convenience. Clear also highlights the importance of increasing convenience, which involves making good habits as easy and accessible as possible. Example, if you want to learn a new language, use a language learning app that you can access on your phone. Another example, if you want to save money, set up automatic transfers to your savings account. Prime the environment. Clear discusses the concept of priming the environment, which involves preparing your surroundings to make good habits easier. Example, if you want to write more, create a dedicated writing space with all the necessary tools and eliminate distractions. Another example, if you want to sleep better, make your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. The power of one-time actions. Clear emphasizes the power of one-time actions that create long-term benefits. Example, investing in a comfortable chair for your workspace can improve your posture and productivity for years to come. Another example, setting up automatic bill payments can save you time and reduce stress every month. Mastering decisive moments. Clear explains that decisive moments are small choices that have a significant impact on your habits. By mastering these moments, you can make good habits the default option. Example, choosing to go to the gym instead of watching TV after work. Another example, choosing to eat a healthy snack instead of a sugary treat. Key takeaways from Chapter 12. Humans are naturally inclined to choose the path of least resistance. Reduce friction and increase convenience to make good habits easier. Prime your environment to support your desired habits. Take advantage of one-time actions that create long-term benefits. Master decisive moments to make good habits the default option. By applying these principles, you can make good habits an effortless part of your daily life. Chapter 13. How to break a bad habit and stick to a good one. This chapter focuses on the practical application of the principles discussed throughout the book, particularly the 2-minute rule, to break bad habits and establish good ones. The 2-minute rule revisited. Clear reiterates the importance of the 2-minute rule as a fundamental strategy for habit formation and change. This rule states that when starting a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Example, if you want to develop a habit of reading before bed, start by reading just 1 page. Another example, if you want to start exercising regularly, begin by simply putting on your workout clothes. The purpose of the 2-minute rule is to make the initial step so easy that you can't say no. Once you've established the habit of showing up, you can gradually increase the duration or intensity. Breaking bad habits. Clear applies the principles of the 4 laws of behavior, change to breaking bad habits. Make it invisible. Reduce your exposure to the cues that trigger the bad habit. Example, if you want to stop snacking on junk food, remove it from your house. Make it unattractive. Highlight the negative consequences of the bad habit. Example, remind yourself of the health problems associated with smoking. Make it difficult. Increase the friction associated with the bad habit. Example, delete social media apps from your phone to make it harder to access them. Make it unsatisfying. Find ways to make the bad habit less rewarding. Example, track how much money you waste on unnecessary purchases. Sticking to good habits. Clear also offers strategies for reinforcing good habits. Habit tracking, monitor your progress to provide visual evidence of your accomplishments. Example, use a habit tracker app or a journal to record your daily exercise. Accountability partners. Find someone to hold you accountable for your habits. Example, tell a friend about your goal to exercise regularly and have them check in on your progress. Habit contracts. Create a written agreement with yourself or someone else to reinforce your commitment. Example, sign a contract stating that you will pay a penalty if you fail to meet your habit goals. Decisive moments in habit shaping. Clear emphasizes the importance of decisive moments, which are small choices that have a significant impact on your habits. He also discusses habit shaping, which involves gradually scaling up your habits over time. By making good choices during decisive moments, you can set yourself up for success. Habit shaping allows you to gradually increase the difficulty of your habits as they become more ingrained. Key takeaways from Chapter 13. Use the 2-minute rule to make it easy to start good habits. Apply the 4 laws of behavior change in reverse to break bad habits. Use habit tracking, accountability partners, and habit contracts to reinforce good habits. Master decisive moments and use habit shaping to gradually improve your habits. Atomic Habits shows us that big changes don't need big actions. Small, everyday habits done again and again change everything. It's like adding tiny drops of water. After a while, you have a full bucket. The 4 rules: make it easy to see, make it fun, make it simple, and make it feel good, are like a map for building good habits and getting rid of bad ones. We need to stop only thinking about big goals and start looking at the small steps we take every day. When we see ourselves as the kind of person we want to be, it's easier to do the things that person does. I am a reader is stronger than I want to read more. Thinking this way changes how we act. Small steps like the 2-minute rule make habits easy to start, and connecting new habits to old ones makes them stick. This book reminds us to be patient. Good habits take time. Don't give up if you don't see results right away. Keep going, and you'll see big changes. Ending Change Your Life Now. This book is more than just words. It's a tool to change your life. You can use these ideas to get healthier, do better at work, have better relationships, and become the person you want to be. Start small. Begin with tiny habits you can easily do every day. Make a plan. Make systems to help you do your habits. Be patient. Remember that good habits take time. Make your space helpful. Change your surroundings to make good habits easy. See yourself as the person you want to be. Let your habits show who you are. The first step is always the hardest, but every small step you take is a step towards a better you. Don't wait. Start today. Use these ideas to build a life you love. You can do it. Change your life, one tiny habit at a time. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new audiobook. And share it with your friends. You never know. This book might just change their lives. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.